So we're lying comfortably, however that is for you. So you might have your legs extended and your feet about the width of the mat apart. Or you might have your knees bent, your feet flat to the floor. Let's have the arms down by the sides with the palms facing upwards. Plenty of space between the arms and the sides of the body so that the chest can soften and expand and we can breathe more effectively. Just noticing your shoulders. Just softening your shoulders down towards the floor, maybe shuffling them down away from the ears. Shoulder blades are flat to the back. And noticing the connection point between the back of the head and the floor. So you're allowing your head to be heavy, and that releasing and letting go of the head is encouraging the whole body to release and let go. And your bones are heavy, sinking down into the earth. And your muscles are loosening their grip of the bones. And your skin is loosening grip of the muscle. Completely relaxing the face. We hold so much tension in the face, particularly when there's a lot to think about. So completely relaxing the face, the temples, the forehead, skin across the cheekbones. You're softening the jaw, you're softening the eyes in the sockets. You're allowing your ear holes to expand. Ear holes expanding. So face relaxing. And just very gently start to roll your head from right side to left side. Keeping the shoulders relaxed, keeping the face relaxed. Just noticing if your muscles immediately start to tense as you invite movement into the body. If that's the case, just letting that go. And then bring the head to center, with the chin tucking slightly more downwards than upwards, so your neck is long. And then pinch your earlobes with your index finger and your thumb. So index finger and thumb of each hand, pinching the earlobes. So you're giving them a tight squeeze and gently pulling them down away from the skull. And you do that a few times. So you squeeze the earlobe and you pull it down. So do it a few times. So you're probably feeling already some quite strong sensation in the ears. So squeezing, pulling, releasing. And then let that go. And bring the first two fingers of each hand to your jaw joint, so just in front of your ears, and start to massage your jaw. So perhaps tracing circles round, or pressing and releasing, tracing the contours of the bones. So massaging around the jaw. And then release the arms down beside you again, staying with the sensations in your jaw. And try that rolling of the head from side to side. It might be that the neck's feeling just a little bit easier. And then let's bring the head to center. So conscious of your feet and the way they're in connection with the floor, so particularly the back of the heels or the soles of the feet, depending on how your legs are. So you're conscious of the feet in connection with the floor. And at the same time, you're conscious of your breath. So not controlling your breath just yet, simply aware of it. And let's invite the breath to deepen. And as we inhale, Just float the arms up towards the ceiling. So one long inhalation, arms floating up towards the ceiling, and then keep that movement going until the backs of the hands perhaps touch the floor above you or just meet a comfortable boundary for your shoulders. And then as you exhale, make that movement in reverse. You're floating the arms down again. So they go up towards the ceiling first, and then they're floating back down beside you. So you're going to do this a few times at your own pace. You're inhaling, deep breath all the way down into the base of your lungs, and the arms float up towards the ceiling, and then they keep going on their journey until perhaps the hands touch the floor above you. And then you exhale, you bring the arms back down again. You're allowing the arms to be light, to be effortlessly moving. So as if the breath is moving the body. And you're noticing how the movement facilitates a deeper breath. And you're noticing how the breath supports the movement. And so you want this to be the case throughout your practice, not just in this particular gesture. So movement supporting breath, and breath supporting movement. And then next time the arms are up above the head, let's take a pause there. So don't rush to get them there. So next time the arms are up above the head, you're pausing. Now you can bring your straight legs together and flex your feet, or straighten the legs out if the knees are bent. So straight legs together along the mat now with the feet flexing. Then interlocking your fingers and flipping the wrists and pushing the palms to the wall behind you. So you're coming into a full stretch. You're pressing the middle of your back down into the floor. So this hug of muscle to bone throughout you. You're lengthening, extending. And let's take 3 deep breaths into the back of the body. So you're really conscious of the support of the floor, particularly as you breathe in. So ribcage expanding to the floor. And then from here, let's bring both knees in towards the chest and catch hold the knees with the hands. And let's circle the knees round a few times. So knees are together, going in the same direction. So circling the knees round smoothly and easily. And then let's change direction. And be still. Let's take a breath in. As you breathe out, squeeze the knees a little closer towards you. And then let's place the feet down on the floor, hip width apart, arms down beside you. And keeping your right foot on the floor, let's lift the back of the right hip up away from the floor. So your knees aren't moving, you're tipping the pelvis over to the left. And as you lower the right hip down, lift the back of your right shoulder up. So the arm stays on the floor, the head stays on the floor. And then you lower your right shoulder down and you're lifting your right hip up. And then you're lowering the right hip down and you're lifting the shoulder up. Now we'll take that once more. So the shoulder's going down and the hip is lifting. And then the hip is lowering and the shoulder is lifting. Take a pause, shoulder is lifted, hip stays on the floor. Let's simultaneously lower the right shoulder down and turn the head to the left. And you're taking a pause there with your head to the left and the right shoulder pressing down into the floor. You take a deep breath into your right lung. And then bring your head to center and relax your right shoulder. Just notice how the right side of the body is feeling. And we'll do that same thing on the left side. So your knees aren't really moving. You're pushing into your left foot and you're lifting the back of the left hip up. So you tip the pelvis over to the right. So pivot over to the right with the pelvis. And then as you lower the left hip down, you're lifting the back of the left shoulder up away from the floor. So you're alternating the lift and lower of the shoulder and the hip. So the left shoulder's going down and the left hip is lifting up. And there's a little squeeze of abdominal muscles to support this. And then the hip is going down and the shoulder is lifting up. And we'll take that once more. So the shoulder is down, the hip is lifting. It's quite a tricky movement to find. And then the hip is going down and the shoulder is lifting. Take a pause. So the hips are relaxing now. Lower the left shoulder down as you turn your head to the right. So you're pressing the back of your left shoulder down into the floor. You're turning your head to the right, taking a deep breath into your left lung. And then bring the head to center. Relax the shoulders and just check in, see how the left side of the body is feeling. So you might notice the body subtly waking up in response to these simple movements. And then let's bring the right knee in towards the chest. Keep the arms on the floor. Right knee comes in towards the chest and circle the knee round a few times. And then circle in reverse. Smooth action of the hip. And then be still with that right knee. Catch behind the thigh with the right hand. And then you're cradling your head with your left hand. Press your left elbow down towards the floor. And then let's raise the head up, twist to the right and bring that left elbow to the outside of the right knee. So there's a conscious squeeze in the belly as you do that. And then you're releasing the head down. Keep the knee in towards you. So left elbow pressing to the floor again. Maybe the head's tipping to the left. And you're raising up a second time. So you twist over to the right. You bring the left elbow to the outside of the knee. And then you release back down. We'll do it once more. So the elbow presses to the floor, the head turns, and then you're coming up. Just pause here for a moment longer than you have been doing. A little squeeze in the belly there. And then you're lowering your head down. Extending your right leg up towards the ceiling so you can catch hold behind the thigh with both your hands. Soften your shoulders down and rotate your right ankle round a few times. So really deliberate action of the ankle so you feel the muscles at work and you feel the action all through the leg, maybe even up into the hip. And then you're going in reverse. And be still with the foot, flexing it, pulling the toes back towards the head. You're pressing the back of the pelvis down. And then let's bend that right knee, place the foot to the floor. So arms beside you for a moment, you're in neutral. And then let's change sides. So keep the arms on the floor. The left knee comes in towards the chest and you're circling the knee round a few times. The slow, smooth circling of the hip. So you're trying to avoid a clicking in the hip, so you're making a smaller movement or you're changing the shape of the movement if you're hitting a consistent click point there. Let's take that in reverse. If the muscle's really juddering about, it feels weak, then maybe you can introduce a conscious contraction around the hip joint, the muscles. You're still moving, but somehow you're consciously squeezing the muscles, and that might help to smooth things out a little bit. And then be still. So you're catching behind the left thigh with the left hand. So the right hand is cradling the head. And you're pressing your right elbow down towards the floor. You might tip your head a little to the right side. And then we're raising the head up, twisting over to the left. You're bringing that right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Conscious squeeze of the belly. And then you're lowering the head back down. Press the elbow to the floor so you feel the muscles to the back of the shoulder working. You're going to come up again. So twisting over to the left and back down. So you can be doing this on the breath. So you can inhale at this point when the head is on the floor perhaps, and then exhale as you come up. And you take a pause there. So just holding for a moment longer. And then releasing the head down. Extending the left leg up towards the ceiling so you can catch hold behind the thigh with both hands. So leg is at right angles to the torso, back muscles permitting, or the intention is for the leg to be straight, so you might be at a slightly lower angle. And you're rotating your ankle round slowly, deliberately. And then in reverse. And be still with the foot flexing. You're pushing the heel to the sky. You're pressing the back of the pelvis down. You're softening the belly. And then let's bend the knee, place the foot down onto the floor and be in neutral. So the arms are down beside you and you're checking in. And let's cradle the head with both hands, interlocking the fingers behind the head, and just go for the reverse interlock of the fingers. So not the one you're most comfortable with, the one that feels a little unfamiliar. Let's press both elbows down towards the floor. So you're squeezing the shoulder blades in towards one another. And then release that squeeze. Draw both knees in towards the chest and the head up in the direction of the knees. So maybe your elbows will touch your knees. Upper back is lifting up high. And then you're lowering the head down, lowering the feet down. And just relax for a moment. And again, let's press the elbows down, squeeze the shoulder blades in, open the chest out. So your back is arching a little bit here. And then you're going to draw your knees in, raise your head up, squeeze the elbows to the knees. And here, of course, your spine is curling, your back is curling. And release, and you relax for a moment. And take that again. Press the elbows down, squeeze the shoulder blades in, push your breastbone up. So you're actively arching your back, contracting your back muscles, and then reverse it. You draw the knees in, raise the head up, squeeze the elbows together, and then let's release. You can bring the arms down beside you so the arms are actually touching the sides of your body now. And then bend at your elbows to point your fingertips up towards the ceiling. So your upper arms are on the floor, your palms are facing one another across the torso. Activate your fingers, spread them out. Check that your feet are hip width apart and your heels are underneath your knees, and you're activating your toes, you're spreading them out. And let's just press the soles of the feet and the upper arms down into the floor. So pressing down. And then release that pressure. So you might notice that the pelvis becomes light when you press the feet and the arms down into the floor. So let's do that again. You're pressing the feet down, spreading the toes. You're pressing the upper arms down, spreading your fingers. And there's a lightness coming into your pelvis, into your torso. And then release. And let's do that once more. And this time, lift the hips. So go with that lightness in your torso, and you're lifting your hips up. So the work is in the arms and the legs, and the spine is hopefully quite light. So you're coming up into a bridge posture, back bended bridge pose. Feel your inner ankles hug together, your inner knees hug together, but the knees stay hip width apart. Feel your upper arms from your elbows to your shoulders press into the floor. Feel your fingers spread. Feel your palms acknowledging the other across the torso there. And take 3 deep breaths into the back and the sides of the lungs. And when those 3 breaths are complete, really slowly lowering the spine down, vertebra by vertebra. And then when the hips touch the floor, rest the hands on the belly. And keeping your feet hip width apart. Bring both knees down towards the floor on the right side. So you're coming into a twist, you're turning your head to the left. And then come back to center, and let's take both knees down towards the floor on the left side. You're turning the head to the right. And come back to center. So again, over to the right with the knees, to the left with the head. There's a little hug of muscles around your ribs here. And then to center. And then off to the left with the knees. And to center. Let's come over to the right side with the knees and pause there. And then wrap your arms around your chest with your left arm on top. Tops of the shoulders down, away from the ears. So you're giving yourself a tight embrace here. So you're really hugging tightly, one elbow on top of the other. So you keep your knees to the right, and you're tipping your upper body now to the left. So the back of your right shoulder is lifting from the floor. And there's a little draw back of your abdominal muscles towards the spine, maybe pelvic floor muscles as well. And then just come to neutral with your upper body. So your lower body stays in the twist. And let's do that again. So you're tipping off to the left with the upper body, head staying on the floor. And then to neutral. And once more, let's tip to the left. Take a deep breath into the back of your right shoulder, your right lung. And then to neutral with the upper body. Let's release the arms down beside you. Bring the knees back to neutral. Let's take a moment to settle into neutral before you go over to the other side. And then the knees are coming to the left, so your feet stay apart. That just gives slightly different access for your hips and your back and your groin. And you're wrapping your arms around the chest with the right arm on top. So shoulder blades are drawing down, tops of the shoulders away from the ears. So you keep your knees to the left, just staying in your twist, but you're tipping your upper body now to the right. So the back of your left shoulder's lifting, perhaps right hand is encouraging that. And then you're back to neutral with the upper body. So you stay twisted with the lower body. And again, let's tip to the right, a little squeeze of abdominal muscles to the spine. And then to neutral. Now once more, let's tip to the right. So you pause there, take a deep breath into the back of your left shoulder, your left lung. And then let's be in neutral with the upper body. Draw the knees back to upright. Let's release the arms down by the sides. So let's see how you're doing. And then let's draw both knees in towards the chest, catch behind the thighs with the hands. So take a breath in. As you breathe out, squeeze the knees towards you. And then place the feet down onto the floor. Extend both arms up towards the ceiling. Take a breath in as you lift the back of both shoulders up away from the floor. So head stays down. And then a breath out as you drop the shoulders heavily to the floor. And because that feels quite satisfying, let's do it a couple more times. So you're going to inhale, lift the back of the shoulders up, so the mid-back presses to the floor. There's a little pause, and then you exhale. You drop the shoulders down. And let's do that once more. Inhale, lift the back of the shoulders up, and then exhale. Let's drop the shoulders down. And then you can take the arms up alongside the ears. Let's reach the fingertips to the wall behind you there. And then you sweep the arms down beside you. And let's roll up to sitting. So just bring yourself into a fetal position off to wherever you've got space there. And then you're going to push into your top hand and just uncurl yourself to upright. And let me just check that the camera can see me. Okay. Okay. All right, so we're sitting upright. And let's sit with the legs crossed, and let's have the left leg in front. So legs crossed with left leg in front. Hands on the knees. And sit tall. So feel the back of the head drawing slightly to the wall behind. Pull your shoulder blades draw down. Pull your belly draw in. And let's inhale, take the arms out and up above the head and touch the palms. And exhale, bring the hands down in front of the heart. Your next inhalation, take the arms forward and out, so a little squeeze of shoulder blades at the end of that. And then exhale, you press your palms together. And then interlock the fingers, flip the wrists, take the arms up alongside the ears. And let's come into a twist to the left. So you're going to bring the right hand onto the left knee and the left hand to the floor behind the back, returning to look over your shoulder. And then turn to face forwards. Have your right hand down on the floor, your left arm out. You're going to trace an arc over to the right side. So right shoulder is relaxed here. And then let's come to upright. Let's change the cross of the legs. So just extend them out in front of you. And then you draw your left leg in first, and then your right leg is in front. You're resting the hands on the knees. And you're sitting tall. So you're lifting up out of your low back. You're drawing the head back a little. So let's inhale, take the arms out and up, touch the palms, really lengthening. And then exhale, bring the hands down in front of the heart. So again, movement supporting breath, breath supporting movement. Inhale, you reach the arms forward and out, little squeeze of the shoulder blades there. Exhale, you bring the palms to touch. And then a reverse interlock of the fingers. So not the one you do automatically, reverse interlock, flip the wrists, take the arms up. So again, you're lengthening from your low back, twisting to the right, left hand onto the right knee, right hand to the floor behind the back. And you're drawing your right shoulder further around behind you. It's coming into a deeper squeeze. And then let's turn to face forwards, and the left hand is down and the right arm is out, and you're tracing an arc, and you're coming over to the left, so side stretch to the left. And then to upright. Straighten the legs out in front. And just find your sit bones there. So you might just lift your right sit bone up away from the floor and lower it down. And then your left sit bone up away from the floor and lower it down. Do that a couple more times each side. So you're really contracting through the side of the body as you lift the hip. You're not doing it from your shoulders. And then both sit bones are anchored downwards. And let's draw the right knee in towards the chest. Hold the knee with both hands. Flex your foot, have your heel a little from the floor, and tense just your right leg. So right leg really tensing. And then let's extend the leg out along the floor. Without leaning backwards, lift that straight right leg up. And you'll lower the leg down. And again, let's lift and lower and lift and lower. And then keep that right leg active as you draw the left knee in towards the chest and catch hold. You're flexing your foot and the heel's lifted from the floor, and you're tensing this left leg, really hugging the muscles to the bone. So not tensing your shoulders though, just your leg. And then extend the leg out and lift it an inch or so from the floor. So you might extend your heel a little past your right foot to do that. And you lower the leg down, and then again you lift. So you're not leaning backwards. And you lower it down, and you lift. And then lower. Let's do one more variation of that each side. So you're bringing the right knee in, flexing the foot, tensing the leg. So really tensing. So this squeeze release of the muscle before you do this slightly challenging exercise, hopefully stops you from getting cramped. Let's see. So you extend the leg out, you're going to lift it, keep it lifted, Take it out to the side about 45 degrees. Really hug your hip here and then bring the leg back in. Keep it lifted. Do that twice more. Take the leg out to the side. You're not leaning backwards. And then back in. And out to the side. And back in. Lower that leg down. Keep your left leg active. Relax your right leg and shake it out. And then bring your legs together again. You're still sitting tall, so you're lifting from your low back. Bend your left knee. Squeeze the muscles. Really hug muscle to bone. So this is your cramp prevention exercise. And you're going to extend the leg out. Lift it an inch or so. Take it out to the side about 45 degrees. Doesn't have to go far. Bring it back in. Keep it lifted. So this hip is engaging. You're doing that twice more. Taking the leg out to the side. And then back in. And out to the side and back in. Then you keep your right leg active, you lower your left leg down and relax it and shake it out. So you're feeling the contrast between the two, active, passive and relaxed. And then let's bring the legs together. Let's inhale, sweep the arms forward and up, really reach for the ceiling. And exhale, bring the arms forward and down. Let's do that again, inhaling. Exhaling, we're going to take the arms up, keep them up there. And make really tight fists with your hands. So fold your thumbs in and wrap your fingers around your thumbs. So squeezing really tightly and drawing that squeeze, that muscular squeeze down the sides of the body to your waist. So really hugging in. Obviously, if you've got issues with your finger joints, then you're going gently with this, but otherwise a tight squeeze. And then spreading your fingers out really wide, really spreading the fingers. And then you're making a quick transition between the two. So in case you can't see me, it's looking like this. Yeah, so you're squeezing and releasing, but the arms are up. So that movement might fade away pretty quickly, in which case you make it even more deliberate. So you're folding and unfolding your thumbs, curling and then lengthening your fingers, keeping your spine nice and upright. You're breathing, you're smiling, and you're really enjoying your online yoga practice. A couple more if you can. Really quick, easy way to strengthen the arms. Not very comfortable way to do it, but quick and easy. No weight bearing as well, which is good. And releasing. Let's bring the soles of the feet together, come into a tailor's pose. Take a little rock from side to side. So you're lifting and lowering your opposite sit bone here. Maybe your knee can come down towards the floor each side and you'll need a little pull from your belly to get you back to center. Just do what you can. And then be still. Let's place the right foot lightly on top of the left, if your hips are willing. So right foot on top of the left and then your left wrist on top of your right. And touch your palms together, interlock your fingers. Now draw your knuckles towards your navel and up towards your chin. And then down towards the floor, out and up above the head. And then bring the arms directly out in front of you. Simultaneously change the cross of the wrists and the ankles. Do it at the same time. So now you've got your left ankle on top, your right wrist on top. Draw the knuckles to the navel, up towards the chin. And then back down towards the floor, out and up above the head. Lengthening from your low back. You're not pressing your rib cage forward. And then you're bringing the arms down. Simultaneously change the cross of your hands and your feet. So you've got right foot on top, left wrist on top, knuckles to navel, to chin, down towards the floor, out and up above the head. Arms out in front. Change the cross. This is our last one. So now you've got your left foot on top, your right wrist on top. Draw the knuckles to the chin, down towards the floor, out and up above the head. And then bring the hands down in front of you. So change the cross of the wrist now, so you've just got the palms touching. You're uncrossing your feet, got the soles of the feet touching. And then let's inhale, take the arms up. And as we exhale, close the knees together. And then give yourself a hug. Just wrap your arms around your low legs and let your head hang down, your shoulders curl. So a few breaths into the back of the body. Really conscious of the space behind you as you breathe in. And then let's raise the head up. Just extend the legs out in front of you. So hopefully you've got space enough around you to just tuck your heels in by your hips. And then you'll extend the legs back out in front of you and do it on the other side. So a few times from side to side. So you want the movement to be really light and agile. So you're supporting yourself with your hands each side, obviously. And do take a full extension of the legs out in front of you. So side to side, massaging hips. It's bringing some lubrication into your joints. And then next time the heels are tucked in. Let's push up to kneeling, and then from kneeling you're coming to all fours. Just bringing yourself up to all fours now. So you've got your hands slightly forward of your shoulders. You've got your knees hip width apart. Actively press the front of your ankles down into the floor. Actively press the front of the ankles down. And then release that press. And take it again, press the front of the ankles down. And then release. And once more, you're pressing the ankles down. And releasing it, take a breath in, exhale, the buttocks to the heels into child's pose. Just as far back as comfortable for you. And then inhale back to all fours. Let's take that again, exhale, the buttocks to the heels, you're in your child's pose. And inhale to all fours. And again, exhale, let's take the buttocks back, pause here. So you're walking the hands in towards the knees. So you're sitting upright on your heels. And then let's inhale, lift the hips, take the arms out and up above the head. And then exhale, lower the hips and bring the hands straight down. So let's do that twice more. So you're inhaling, taking the arms out and up, touching the palms, lifting the hips up, and exhaling, you're bringing the hands down. And again, inhaling. And exhaling. And then find your all fours again. Coming onto all fours. And let's step the right foot to the back of the mat. So the ball of the foot is on the floor. And just reach your right fingertips to the front of the mat. So you might have your palm turned to the middle of the mat there. So your left arm is forward and your right leg is back. Just engage the belly and let's raise the right leg, the left arm up. So you're coming into a balance. So you're engaging from your core and then lower the arm and the leg down. And do that again. So you're lifting the left arm, the right leg up and lowering down. And once again, let's lift up and then lower down. So come to all fours again. Come back to your all fours. And just notice the asymmetry of that sequence and how it's landed in your body. And then let's do it on the other side. So you're stepping the left foot back and the right arm forward. And you might just have your right palm face towards the center of the mat. And the front of the right ankle can press down into the floor. That might give you added support as you balance. You're feeling your stomach muscles draw to the spine. You're raising your left leg, your right arm, really extending as you lift. And then lower down. And again, let's lift. And lower. And then lift. And lower. Come back to all fours. Take the buttocks to the heels, child's pose. Come up through all fours into dog pose. And then let's come back down onto the knees. Lift your right knee, your right foot out to the side. And see if you can also take your left arm out to the side. And then you lower the right knee, the left hand, and you do that twice more. So right knee out to the side, left arm out to the side, you're looking past the front of the mat, and back to center, and once more, and to center. And then you're changing sides, so it's the left knee and foot that lift up, and then the straight right arm, so out to the side, and releasing, and again, so long spine, engaged abs, and releasing, and once more. And release. And then come down onto your elbows, so your forearms are on the floor. You can loosely interlock your fingers, but your elbows are about shoulder width or a little closer apart. Come back into a child's pose with your elbows, your forearms on the floor like this. So you press the elbows down, you're shifting the buttocks to the heels, so it's a slightly different experience for your shoulders. And then back to all fours and into forearm dog. So you keep your forearms on the floor, you tuck your toes under, you lift your knees, your hips, straightening out the legs as best you can. Let's see how it is to be here. And then let's come down onto the knees again. And circle round the elbows with the shoulders. And in reverse, your chin's tucking slightly so that your neck isn't straining. And then be still. Just check that your elbows haven't slid apart too much. So you want the elbows a little closer than the shoulders. You're pressing your wrists down into the floor, full length of the forearm. Let's come into a forearm plank posture. So the arms stay as they are. You're stepping one foot to the back of the mat, the other foot to the back of the mat, feet are hip width apart, bringing your body into a straight line, and you're looking past your hands towards the front of the mat. Let's hug muscle to bone through the whole body, really hugging in tightly, so that will hopefully give you a little more resolve to stay, a little more strength. And then from here, come down onto your belly. So you might lower down onto your knees and then find your own way down onto your belly. So resting your head on your hands. Let's take 3 deep restorative breaths here. So you're inhaling to bring energy and vitality into your system, and you're exhaling to release fatigue. So particularly the fatigue that was building up there during the course of the practice. And then let's reach the right arm out to the side, excuse me, at shoulder height. Lift the right arm up, so the back of the hand's lifting up towards the ceiling. Just have the hand in line with the shoulder, not drawing back towards the wall behind you. So you hold that for a moment. And then sweep the arm around behind the back, so the forearm is resting across the small of the back. And take some backward rotations of your right shoulder. So that bound up shoulder. And then forward rotations. And then be still with that shoulder. Just make sure your right hand is as far over to the left side as it can be. Then press your pubic bone down towards the floor. Tuck the toes of your left foot under and push the heel to the wall behind you. And then untuck your toes and simultaneously raise your chest and your straight left leg. So head's coming up, chin's tucking in, the pelvis is level, shoulders are level. And then lower back down. And let's take that again. So you're raising the chest and the left leg. So your right leg can be pressing down into the floor and releasing. And once again, let's come up. And release. And then take the right arm from behind the back, reach it back out to the side at shoulder height. You're keeping it away from the floor. And then bring the arm alongside the ear. So you're reaching it to the wall in front of you. Feel your shoulder blade draw down, but your fingertips reach forward. The arm's a little away from the floor there. And then release it down. Bring the hand back in as a pillow. You're resting your forehead. So breathing with awareness of your right shoulder. And then let's do it all on the other side. So you're taking the left arm out to the side at shoulder height and lifting the arm up for a few moments, keeping it long and straight and active, spreading your fingers. So just lifting the back of the hand up towards the ceiling. Try not to pull the hand down towards the feet. You want the hand in line with the shoulder. So you'll know when you're in the right place because it feels quite challenging. And you're going to tuck the arm round behind the back, backward rotations of your left shoulder. And then forward rotations. And be still with the shoulder. Just make sure that that left hand is as far over to the right side as it'll go. And then you're tucking the toes of your right foot under and you're pushing the heel to the wall behind you and your pubic bone is pressing down to engage your core. And then you're untucking your toes and you're raising your chest and your straight right leg. Chin tucks in, don't throw your chin forward. You want a nice long neck. And then you're lowering back down. And come up again. So make sure your abdominal muscles are on as you back bend. So you're supporting your back muscles from the front. And then you're lowering down. And again, let's come up. And then release down. And then you're reaching your left arm out to the side at shoulder height, so the arm's away from the floor there. And then perhaps you bring the arm alongside the ear, so you're reaching it to the wall in front of you, but the shoulder blade is drawing down the back. So you want the top of the shoulder away from the ear. So you hold there for a moment with the arm lifted. And then you bring that left hand back in as your pillow, rest your forehead, and breathe with awareness of your left shoulder. And then let's make fists with the hands and bring the hands just slightly in front of the shoulders. And you want your elbows to be touching the sides of the body. So the little finger side of the fist is on the floor and the elbows are touching your body. And let's keep the forehead on the floor and the pelvis on the floor and lift the low ribs up. So there's a little bit of space beneath you. You're curling your spine forwards. You're engaging your abdominal muscles. And then release that. And again, you keep your head on the floor, your pelvis on the floor, and you lift your low ribs up. And then you release it. And then you do it a third time. And this time, perhaps push yourself away from the floor so the head and the pelvis come up. So you're in forearm all fours. And you can do it a few times. Once might feel more than enough, but it might be that if you want to strengthen, that you can try it a few times. So you want to lead the lift from your center. And you're squeezing your elbows, your upper arms together as you come up. Okay, and then next time you're up, settling back into child's pose for a moment. And then let's come up to all fours. Step the right foot to the back of the mat and then through in between the hands. So step your right foot forward, knee and your heel are in line. Press both feet down into the floor, rest your hands onto your ankle, and let's inhale, sweep the arms out and up, touch the palms, and exhale, bring the arms down. Back to all fours. Let's step the left foot to the back of the mat and through in between the hands. So you nudge the foot into place if it's not coming easily, and you press both feet down so legs are active. You've got your hands on the ankle. Inhale, take the arms out and up, and exhale, bring the arms down. And then you're back to your all fours. Let's go up into a dog pose to transition to standing. So tuck your toes, lift your knees, your hips, push the floor away through the palms. If you're okay to stay upside down, take 3 deep breaths here. And then you're walking your feet to your hands. So you're coming into forward bend at the front of your mat. So your knees are soft here. The weight is towards the front of the feet. The arms are hanging down. So you're just simply folding forward. You're not trying to touch your toes or have really straight legs, or certainly not trying to break your hamstrings. So you're just being soft here in forward bend. And then deepen the bend in your knees, push into your feet, uncurl yourself to upright. So you come up to standing. Let me just change the camera a little. So you're coming up to standing. So you should be towards the front of your mat here. So at the front of your mat, close your eyes and walk in reverse to the back of your mat. So you're walking backwards with your eyes closed, just to make sure you're not tripping over your pets or your partners or whatever. And then keeping your eyes closed, you're going to walk to the front of the mat. Let's do that a couple more times. And then next time you're at the front of your mat, let's just take a pause there. And you're going to stand with your eyes closed. With your eyes closed. And your awareness on your posture. So feet are hip width apart, spine is tall, chest is open, knees are soft, crown of the head is reaching to the sky. Just lift the pads of your toes up and lower them down individually from the little toe to the big toe. So one by one, lowering your toes down. You lift your toes up again and lower them down individually from the big toe to the little toe. And then maybe just lift your big toes up and lower them down. And maybe just your 4 little toes lifting up and lowering down. And then roll to the outer edges of your feet. So the inner edges of the feet lift up. So you'll feel a stretch to the outside of your ankle. And then shift that round so the inner edge of the foot lifts up and the outer edge lifts. Sorry, the inner edge presses down, the outer edge lifts up. So here the stretch is to the inside of the ankle. And then you anchor the feet down into the floor, perhaps with a little more awareness of your feet. So you're spreading your toes and you're rooting down through the base of the big toe, little toe, the inner and outer edges of your heels. And then let's cross the wrists with the right arm on top. Just interlock the fingers there. And start to swing your arms around in a circle. So go off to the right side, then up towards the ceiling, then off to the left, and then down towards the floor. So you're circling around a few times. Your knees are soft. And you're letting your upper body twist in response to the circling. So it's just very easy. And then be still next time your arms are alongside the ears there. As you're drawing your low ribs in, and you're finding a focal point to fix your eyes on as you place your left toes on top of your right foot. And then step out of your balance, keep your arms where they are, so anchor your feet back down again, and take a side stretch over to the left. So you're tipping your body over to the left, so you're not bringing your top shoulder forward. If anything, you probably need to shift it backwards a little bit. And then come to center, release the arms down, just do a little quick up and down micro shrug of your shoulders. So repetitive movement. This is another movement that can fade away quite quickly. So try to stay with it. And then shoulders can be still. And let's cross the left wrist over the right, reverse interlock of your fingers, so not the one you do automatically. And then take your arms off to the left first this time, up towards the ceiling, down to the right, to the floor, and so on. So you're twisting round, soft knees, letting your upper body turn with the rotation. So you might have your mouth slightly open, you might take a long, slow breath out through the mouth just to facilitate release through the shoulders. Just letting it be light and comfortable. And then next time the arms are up alongside the ears, you're taking a pause there. So you're engaging your core, finding your focus. So your little tips for balancing there. And then it's right toes on top of the left foot. And you're standing tall in your balance for a moment. And then step out of your balance and come into a side stretch to the right. So that left shoulder's drawing back a little, side stretch to the right. And to center. And release your arms down. Micro shrug of the arms up and down. And then let's pause with the hands on the belly. Let's take 3 deep breaths to finish. So as you inhale, reach the arms forward, spread them out, spread your fingers, lift your heart, raise your gaze, and then exhale, gather the hands back the way they went up. So just retrace your steps with the arms. So let's do that twice more. Inhaling, so again, movement supporting breath, breath supporting movement. Exhaling, the arms are coming back down. And once more. And then just stand for a moment with your eyes closed, your hands resting on your low abdomen, your feet firmly planted to the earth. And just track the movement of the breath through you and the movement of your life force energy. So tingling sensation, heat moving, breath settling, heart rate, so on. So it's all indications of your life force on the move. And of course, life force responds to movement. So really important that we keep moving, even though we're a little more restricted than usual at the moment. And then when you're feeling that your body is settled a little, just come down onto the floor now, onto your backs for a few minutes of rest to finish. So get yourself comfortable. It's whatever you need to be comfortable as you relax. So it's a good idea to end the practice in the same position that you began it. So you can do a compare and contrast. See how you are now as in comparison to how you were when you began. So getting comfortable. And then keeping there, the head on the floor, the arms on the floor. Just lift the back of both shoulders up away from the floor. And then lower those shoulders down. Draw the shoulder blades down the back and then relax the shoulders. And let's take a similar adjustment with the hips. So you're squeezing the buttocks together. You're going to lift the hips just an inch or so away from the floor. And then release the squeeze of the buttocks and lowering the hips down and relaxing. Just roll your head from side to side. Just running your tongue through your teeth and around your mouth as you roll your head. And then bring the head back to center. Let's take 3 long, slow, deep breaths in through the nostrils and out through the mouth. Really exaggerated out breath. So remembering that when the exhalation is longer than the inhalation, you're stimulating the parasympathetic nervous system, so the relaxation response in the body. And when those 3 breaths are complete, you're allowing the breath to settle back to its natural rhythm. You're staying aware of it as you mentally repeat the words, let go. So you choose how you're going to do this. You could do it on every round of breath. So you mentally repeat the word let on an inhalation and go on an exhalation. Or you might just keep the attention on the breath, and when you notice that the attention has wandered, then you repeat the words let go, you drop your thoughts, and you come back to the breath. So each time you say the phrase to yourself, it is an invitation, and just see if the body will take that up, the body, the heart, the mind, and whether it will actually let go. And noticing where your attention is. So if you're not with the body and breath, you let go, whatever it is that's got you in its grip, and you come back to this present moment, and you're scanning your body with your awareness. It's noticing how you are as you bring your practice to a close. It's naming to yourself some benefit from having made the effort to come and practice in this way today, having made the space for yourself to do this. There might be more than one benefit. You might be able to come up with a whole list of things that feel good about having practiced today. And I'm sure there were challenges and what have you, but you know, as well as that, there's benefit. And then taking the attention down into the hands and the feet, and just start to move your fingers and your toes, gently waking yourself up. And then working your way into a stretch. Nice, long, lazy, satisfying stretch out. And you're hugging the knees in towards the chest. And just rock a little from side to side. You might roll your head in the opposite direction to the legs, let it be really loose. And then just tip yourself off to the side wherever you've got space, and let the momentum of the rolling just bring you to upright, just without strain. Just come up to sitting. You might want to reconnect with your device, or you might just want to stay inwards. You might just want to acknowledge that there are other people here practicing with you, and let's just bring the palms together in front of the heart, just offer each other namaste. Great. Thank you, everyone. Wonderful. Okay.